do you feel like Pac's murder is solved, even though, the police have not, called anyone to charge him, but just from, with the Keefe D's and all of that, do you feel like it's solved?
Well, where I'm from, we never waited on the police to solve none of our problems.
What's up, world? It's your boy Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast. You already know what it is. What's good, producer Ken?
Man, it's back-to-back legends, bro. We just have legends.
Man,
legend
we
legend.
in this bitch, bro.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? We knocking them out. Real legends. So today, we got a legend in the building for real, for real. So we got the homie. Let me introduce Fatal. I call him Fatal.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, Fatal, CEO, producer. Got the After Party podcast, and also he's family because he's got the No Limit Latin that he's heading up. So
Coming
we in
soon.
good
We
company.
talk about
coming
it. It's
soon.
coming soon. Yeah.
That's fam. Shout out to XL.
Word.
And so we also got a hip hop jargonite legend of the legendary group.
Man, you're far too kind.
Come on, the legendary group Outlawz. What's good with you, Edie?
Man, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, my
Appreciate
brother.
being here. Salute.
Yeah, it's a lot of history in here, bro.
Yeah.
In hip hop. I mean, thick history.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to start from the beginning, my brother. Where you from, bro?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
A little town called Coney Island. Out by the water. Yep.
Okay.
But I moved around.
Yeah.
Throughout my years.
Siblings?
Yeah. I got an older brother.
Okay. What was your home life like?
Pretty average, man, for a young black male in America. You know what I mean? My pops was in the streets, my mama held it down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In a nutshell.
Oh,
I had
okay.
uncles, I had great support system, people that, you know what I mean, showered me with love and affection, and I never knew we was poor or in the ghetto or none of that shit until we left.
Right. Same thing with me, bro. I always like to say I was raised on love, not survival. It's a big difference,
100%.
Especially in them formative years.
Right.
So, I mean, was it a musical household? Like you at the birth of hip hop, you in the place of the birth of hip hop. Was you around hip hop, or was it the funk back then? Because I know we probably not too far in age. So was you growing, what was your musical
Man, it was
influences?
a mixture of everything in my household. My mother loved music and she listened to it all. You know what I mean? And she exposed me to everything, from jazz to, of course, hip hop. My mom even introduced me to hip hop.
Really?
Because she was out there living her life and in the clubs and shit. And when hip hop started to emerge, she would come home with these records, like Rapper's Delight and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Fives. And so all those records was right there in my living room as a little kid. And, she allowed me access to them, and I absorbed it.
Okay. Was you into break dancing and shit back then too?
All of it.
Yeah.
Breakdancing, graffiti, whatever.
Could you
know what
windmill?
I mean?
Could you windmill?
Never could windmill. That wasn't my
never could
thing.
windmill, bruh.
Nah, I wasn't getting on the ground. You know what I mean? That was me. I would do everything else, but I'm not getting on the ground.
My nigga, I tried to windmill, almost broke my neck. I gave it up. I gave that shit up.
What about Ken? You ever windmill?
Fuck no. Little pop lock.
What about you? You ever windmill?
Never, bro. I know about the car tour, the cardboard, the boombox on this. Yeah, I know about all that. Though.
I could do that little crab shit.
Yeah.
You know the one where you put your hands behind your legs, but you fall back and
You
shit?
could do that?
I could do that shit.
What?
I could probably still do it. I ain't gonna try it, though.
I'm about to say, come on now.
My big ass
Camera
is
is rolling.
My big ass is shatter if I fall. Fuck that. So,
muscle spasm or something.
man, I know, right? You down there like niggas stroked out like. But so growing up in Brooklyn, did y'all have, what was the streets like at that time? Had crack cocaine, had the drug epidemic.
Oh, in the
started about
80s,
that
for
time?
sure.
Yeah.
That shit was everywhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The streets, my family, it was everywhere. Yeah.
So
was
did you?
alive and well in the
So
80s.
do you remember when the neighborhood was more peaceful, kind of like more serene, more community? Everybody knew everybody, and it was all love before
I mean,
it kind of got
even
hostile.
a lot of times, like crack didn't replace the neighborhood and the love that was in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It replaced certain people and moved certain people out of your world for a time while they was battling that addiction. But the neighborhood was still the neighborhood. Brooklyn was still Brooklyn. My little world was so small at that time. I was, insulated and well protected. And even though I would go out in the streets and see a crackhead or see crack vials in the street, I knew what crack was. It wasn't, sitting next to me when I went in the house and it was time to eat dinner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My mama did a good job of making sure me and my brother was,
Yeah, let me ask you this, because I'm curious. Because I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. So, like, I would see pictures of New York. Did you grow up in a building, like a apartment or a house?
Projects in the Sky is what they call it.
Yeah. That shit was always crazy. Like, what? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up, even though it was in the hood, we had a house and a yard and shit. Like, it seemed like in New York, motherfuckers just on top of each other, just fast moving, just energy, just motherfuckers going.
It's everything you see on TV and probably even more. But I moved to the Midwest too when I was young.
Yeah. Where'd you
teenager.
move to?
I moved to Minnesota, St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Oh, shit. Shout out to Prince. Ain't that where Prince was?
That's exactly where Prince was.
Yeah.
Paisley Park.
Paisley Park.
Prince was
the man.
The man.
The man.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a bunch of little princes running around. You see them on the streets. They looking like Prince, you know what I mean? That's how big Prince was.
Yeah, fucking right.
They were getting groupie love too, just being a lookalike. Huh?
Yeah, Prince.
Straight up.
Yeah.
You look like Prince, okay.
Prince probably the only nigga in heels that could take your woman. Prince in heels could take your woman. Straight up.
No.
Straight up with mascara and everything. He
All
take your
5'3"
woman.
of them.
He was little, huh?
Oh yeah,
right
yeah.
up out of
He was
there
a tiny
with,
dude.
with your lady.
On a bike.
Was it a culture shock coming from Brooklyn to a slower pace St. Paul?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you adjust?
I never really did. You know, I stayed there because I ain't have no choice. But as soon as I got a chance, I left.
Yeah.
And eventually went to California.
Oh, okay. What age was you when you went to California?
17.
Oh shit. Okay, what part?
Oakland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you went to the Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I know that was another culture shock because now you coming from, you know what I mean, Brooklyn, then you going to St. Paul, but then Cali, a whole different flow.
Yeah.
Specifically the Bay.
Specifically the Bay.
That's a lot of motherfuckers don't understand. LA,
Say
the
that
Bay
twice.
is different.
Oh yeah, very different.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
different.
What was the get down out there once you landed down there? How'd you adjust?
Oh man, it was I adjusted real easily, because the weed was very good, and we smoked a lot of it.
Shout out to that Bay Area
We had
marijuana.
palm trees,
Yeah,
and beautiful women, and I was like, okay, this is it.
yeah,
The WWW?
yeah.
This is
What
it.
part?
I
What
mean,
part of
we
the Bay though?
Oakland.
Oakland. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you did say
Went right
Oakland.
to Oakland,
Okay.
California.
East Oakland, West Oakland.
And nah, it was kind of like mid Oakland.
Okay.
It was by like MacArthur Park, the lake and everything.
Lake Merritt.
No, Lake MacArthur.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right by the park.
Okay. All right. So at this time, are you listening to hip hop at this point? Have you kind of got the seed planted that you want to get into some type of
Well,
rap?
for me, the seed was planted pretty early because, like you said, I grew up in Brooklyn. Hip hop was all around me.
Yeah.
My uncle had a big brown Cadillac, and he used to ride up the street playing sucker MCs, Run DMC every day, and hip hop was just in my pores. Kind of like in LA gang banging.
Right.
Hip hop was the same for me. It just was there. So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to do. I knew at an early age this is what I was going to do. And I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen.
So when did you actually go pen to paper and say, was you in class fucking off writing raps, or like at what point did you say, I'm gonna really do this?
I was that dude. You know what I mean? I would rock a hoodie to school every day so it could hide my headphones.
Yeah.
And I'd be in my headphones, listening to Public Enemy or Big Daddy Kane or somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You remember your first rap?
I do.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
What's the first 4 bars?
What's the first 4 bars?
That's a good
Court
question.
trying to get me to
I don't think I remember my first rap, bro. That's hard.
And was you EDI mean?
Hell no.
Okay. What was your first rap name?
MCG.
Okay.
Ooh, MCG.
All right. What's the
Yeah.
first 4? Hot.
Come from New York, but I live in Minnesota. It's just the same, but a little bit colder. Minnesota's big. It's pretty nice, but in the winter time, it gets as cold as ice. I'm talking 20 below, 30 inches of snow. Just stay inside because there's nowhere to go.
Well, that was 8 bars. He doubled up on you, Corey. He went 8 bars on us.
Shit, how old was you when you wrote that?
I was like about maybe 10, 11,
Okay.
Oh,
12.
man.
Yeah,
something
because
like
that's
that.
kind of in the cadence of Run DMC.
Yeah.
You know,
It's that hip hop flow.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
Damn, I'm impressed, nigga. All the weed you smoke, you still remember that motherfucker?
I ain't gonna lie. It's hard to remember your first flow.
I can remember that shit, but you asked me some shit that I did yesterday, and I might be like, damn.
What restaurant we at? I don't know. What was that shit?
What I do yesterday?
Smoke some good weed.
I have selective memory.
Yeah,
but I do remember that.
That's dope. That's dope. So you get to Oakland. So why did you move to Oakland?
Pac was out there.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you had met Pac already.
Well, I knew Pac all my life. You
Okay.
know what I mean, we were friends from a very early age. Our parents were friends. Our whole families were friends.
Okay.
So, you know, I knew him all my life. Me and a couple of other Outlaws, Castro and Gaddafi, we all grew up together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That was the nucleus of the Outlaws. So I went to Oakland in 1992.
Okay.
As soon as I graduated high school, and that's when my career started.
Oh, okay. I see. So Tupac was already, so at this point, let me see, 92. So had Tupacalypse.
It had came out.
It
Juice
came
had
out?
came out. He was,
Okay.
you
He's
know,
already on the rise.
Yeah,
he was on
the
on
rise.
his way.
So you hearing this, I mean, this is a close friend of yours, right? You in St. Paul, and you seeing and hearing this shit. Like, I mean, what was your feeling like? Oh, I got to go out here. This nigga, he going up. You know what I mean?
I never felt like that because I was so entrenched in hip hop and the culture, and you and I know it's very competitive.
Yep.
And, you know, we all come in with our egos as big as the room, and so at that time I felt like I was pretty special too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so
Okay.
in my mind, I was gonna make it either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Castro, who was Tupac's first cousin, you know, he was with me a lot of the times when I was making a lot of my earlier music, and he was like, "Yo, you should send this to Pac. Pac got next." You know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, that's what's up." And so I sent a few songs to Pac, and he heard it, and I guess he heard the potential, and he was like, "Okay, you know, graduate high school, and you can come fuck with me."
Yeah. Did you ever battle Pac?
Not like, yo, let's have a battle,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah.
I battled him in my own way.
Okay.
He probably didn't see me as competition, but anytime I was on a record with Pac, I was going at him because
Yeah.
he was the man, and I wanted my verse to be, if not as good, better.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you think about the Tupacalypse Now album?
I thought he needed work on his beats. I didn't like all his beats at the time, but as a lyricist and you know what he wanted to say, I knew he was way ahead of his time and he was going to change the game.
Right.
Because it wasn't nobody saying, you know, what he was saying at that time. He just needed better production.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Because I think on that album, the standout track for me was Violent. Yeah, that was one of the standout tracks.
Facts.
Yeah. So Pac always started out kind of with the militant type thing, even though you had all this gangster shit, you know, because I mean 91, 92, you know, it's NWA, it's still Eazy-E, it's, you know, it's Ghetto Boys, it's gangster rap. Even though back then you did have a balance, because we did have, you know, kind of like the X-Clans and the Public Enemies and shit. So, I mean, was your first type of understanding of music, was it gangster shit or was it militant? Following in the vein of Pac.
As far as hip hop is concerned, my first introduction to hip hop is the Run DMCs, the, like I said,
Sugar Hill
Gang, Furious
First
5,
rap song ever on the radio.
Those were all my introduction because you know that was what was popping at the time. You know what I mean? And then as hip hop evolved, my taste evolved as well.
So as your taste evolved, who was you listening to? Who were you being influenced by? Especially being
Man,
in
a
the
little
Bay.
bit of everybody. A little bit of everybody. You know what I mean? I just, you know, I didn't segregate hip hop as far as where it was
Regions.
from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it was good to me, it was good to me, and I listened to everybody.
Okay. So you was on the Spice Ones and the Sebos and the shit back in the early
When
90s.
we got to the Bay,
Yeah.
I got a crash course in all of them.
Yeah.
I didn't know about them prior to that because I wasn't exposed to them. But as soon as we got to the Bay, Pac was like, "Yo, y'all need to check out what's going on up here."
Yeah.
You know
What was your thought coming from New York the first time you heard E40 and the Click?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, because I know that shit was like
it was
way
super,
different.
It was super different to me. You know what I mean? And it was his style took a minute to adjust to, but once you got to hear what he was saying and what you know where he was coming from with it, like, yo, this shit is genius.
The bass link's different.
Yeah, real shit.
He created his own words, his own language.
Exactly. The whole vibe
Mac
is different.
Dre, all
Yeah,
that.
the whole vibe. That was mature of you, because you know a lot of times East Coast, especially because that's the mecca of hip hop, they tend to kind of look down on.
Nah, very
on
snobbish.
others.
And we
Yes.
were very
Yeah.
snobbish. And Pac recognized that in us, and that's why he kind of force-fed us. You know what I mean? Bay Area hip-hop and because I was exposed, of course, to NWA, Eazy-E, MCA, DOC, and all of them, but not really real Bay Area rap. You know what I mean? And I wasn't a Too Short fan at the time. You know what I mean? I learned to love Too Short as I got older.
Right.
But at the time, hell yeah, we was East Coast kids and very snobbish with our taste in hip-hop. We was like, yo, what is, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. East Coast motherfuckers be hard to please. Not so much now, but back in the 90s.
oh, very much so.
Shit. Like,
We got to be fair though, because I grew up in Sacramento, and it was the flip for us. I hated at the time. All due respect, I hated the sound of the East Coast. Like I couldn't. It wasn't. And I'm a little younger too.
Right.
Like I just turned 40, so I kind of grew up on y'all and
Yeah.
Pac and others. But like at the time, like Wu-Tang, like never got into it.
me neither. I
At the
never
time,
got into it
It
either.
would,
Method
it
Man
would
was
come
always
on, but
crazy.
I was my ear. I feel like was E40.
Right.
Like, cause we
For
were
sure.
listening to C. I'm from Sac, so we were Brother Lynch Hung,
Yeah.
Right.
X-Rated,
Right on.
X-rated.
Sebo,
Yeah.
people from my neighborhood, Hollow Tip,
Yeah.
and then the Bay, 40, Spice, and then you would hear Wu-Tang, all the Son and Kid and the
Yeah.
sword slash.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? What the
Came to
fuck
bring
is
the
that?
Yeah, you couldn't relate. You couldn't
Nah, I couldn't
relate.
relate at all.
Nah, 100%.
don't
Some
have
of
to
Wu
sound
Tang
right.
shit sound like, and the early shit,
Pots
like
and
somebody
pans and shit.
banging on a
Pot-
fucking pipe.
That's
in
what
the
I was about
basement.
to say, bro.
As you grow up, though, I feel like
Yeah.
you get an appreciation of like, oh, cool. I see. I'm older now, but
Yeah.
at the time I was like, all I'm listening to is early Mac Dre, early E.
Yeah, rest in peace to Gaddafi. He was the one. He was the one that was the toughest to crack, cause like Gaddafi, his mouth was flagrant. So you know what I mean. He didn't mind like agitating Pac. You know what I mean? They were like brothers. So
Oh, so he would talk
Pac
that
could be
shit.
playing some E40 or something. He'd be like, man, take this country shit off. I don't know what the fuck is this nigga saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the like
Yeah.
he just couldn't get E40, but he ended up loving
Yeah,
40.
real shit.
You know what I mean? We all ended up loving 40. You know, I
Yeah.
took to it a little bit earlier because I grew up in the Midwest and I was exposed to a lot of different hip hop more than they was growing up on the East Coast. But boy, that shit used to set Pac on fire.
Shout out 40. 40
Pac
just
would be
shared.
like, y'all don't know shit. This the real hip hop right here.
Yeah,
Not that bullshit.
40 just shared the story for the Outlawz show. He rocking with it, man. He watching. You
Yeah.
know what time it is.
I done told 40 this story. 40 know the story. You know what I mean? That story of how Pac took us around the Bay and, spoon fed us this Bay Area hip hop is legendary up there because not only would he take us around to these cats, he would make us rap too. You know what I mean? He would make us rap for him and he put us in the trenches very early on to, see if we could hold our own. Up in Oakland, coming with East Coast styles, and you know what I mean.
He was grooming y'all. He was getting y'all ready.
100%.
Yeah, no,
he was
that's-
doing what doesn't happen a lot in hip hop right now.
He was pretty much A&R'ing y'all
For sure.
Yeah, that's.
Well, he was
yeah.
involved back then with like Ray Love, Mac Mall,
Yep,
like
Saying
that.
Richie Rich.
Richie
Yeah,
Rich.
Richie
When I went up there, I met Richie Rich in the Gov.
Yeah,
know what
shout
I
out to the Gov. Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's like me growing up in Kansas City, it was the same thing. Like with the East Coast, the only reason I couldn't really get into it outside of LL, was the productions. The production. It was like break beats and random sounds, But it was like once they start using chords and music, because on the West Coast they use chords, and it was more musical, So that you can ride to that shit.
Let me ask you this. Why LL, though? You said that was your exception.
Because LL, if you go back to like I'm Bad,
Mama
or
Said
even
Knock You
radio,
Out.
yeah. It was still 808 drum machine. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
Because guess who was doing his production?
Bobcat.
DJ Pooh and Bobcat.
Yeah, Bobcat.
Battlecat?
No, it's
Bobcat.
Bobcat. Bobcat.
Not Battlecat.
And
Bobcat
Bobcat
is
is from out here.
They
and
West Coast
dudes.
Doing his
Exactly.
tracks.
LL's secret weapon was
Yep.
he was getting a lot of West Coast
Yup,
production. early in
real
his
shit.
career.
See, I didn't learn that till I got older, and that made sense why it was appealing to me. Because again, even though it was 808 heavy, it was drum machine, but it wasn't the typical East Coast hip hop.
You felt the beats.
Yeah, just the music. You know what I'm saying? The music. So yeah, I feel you on that. You know what I mean? But as I got older, I learned to appreciate like the Beanie Siegels. You know what I'm saying? And even once New York start implementing a lot, you can attribute to Puffy, because of the samples and shit. You know what I mean? Start using chords and music, then it became appealing, obviously, to everybody. You know what I mean? But so now you on a crash course in Oakland. doing the shit with Pac? How'd y'all come up with the Outlawz name? Because
Well,
that shit
came
gangster.
later. That came later.
What was y'all at first?
That we had a bunch of different names, man. We had a bunch of different names, but you know the outlaw thing came after when Pac was locked up. You know what I mean, in upstate New York.
Okay.
And so we just started. I call it rebranding.
Yeah.
We just wanted to rebrand everything.
Yeah. The name is gangster. The Outlaw Immortals, and then the fact that he named y'all, right?
Well, we some of us named ourselves.
Okay.
Some names he picked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a collaborative thing. Like, okay, he knew what his name was. My name was kind of obvious.
Right.
Napoleon's name was obvious.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because I thought to myself, I'm like, this was before Google, so you niggas was kind of smart and reading. You know what I mean? And knew some history. Because I'm like, you know, EDI,
so.
I
was no
wouldn't have
Google
known.
search some cool political figures.
Exactly.
Some
so
outlaw
to have that, you know, to be able to do that, that's impressive, especially at that young age.
Yeah.
And creative.
Yeah, well, reading was encouraged, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In our family and our household, amongst the adults. And so, you know, knowledge is infinite, man. You always
Absolutely.
gotta seek
Absolutely. So now y'all become, at what point you became Outlawz once Pac was locked up? So speaking of him being locked up, like all the drama that Pac was dealing with during that time, was this from the Atlanta situation or the trumped up shit with the chick?
Yeah, it was a rape charge.
Okay. So, I mean, that's y'all leader and y'all trying to find y'all footing in the game. Like what was y'all state of mind during that time? Like, how was y'all handling that, faring with that?
That's a great question, Court. And you know what I want you and your listeners and your fans to do? That motherfucking Outlaw series is on the way. And y'all gonna get it back. Y'all gonna get the real deal.
Yeah.
From the beginning all the way up to right now. You know what I mean? And stay tuned for that.
So that was such a good question. He like that shit deep. They gonna have to pay for that.
He's already have an NDA for that question.
Yeah, they gonna have to pay for that.
You got distribution?
Because I
you got distribution.
I got producers. I got producers, and they really don't want me doing interviews right now. But you know, I wasn't gonna pass this one up. You know
I appreciate that.
So,
I appreciate that.
You know, but it's coming for sure.
Okay. So well, fuck, that might just, you know what I mean?
That's the end of the interview. Okay, Edie, good night.
You know what I mean? Well, I get deep. I start peeling back layers and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, so your leader, he's doing what he's doing, you know. So, I mean, are y'all still trying to figure out the music shit? Have y'all got a deal yet? Like, you know, what?
Everything was pretty much predicated on his release from prison.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So y'all just
we was
hustling.
gonna go wherever he was at, but during this period, you know, we in the streets, we figuring out life. Everybody's just
and y'all in the Bay.
Nah, during this time, it was actually where was I at during this time? I was back and forth between Atlanta and New York, New Jersey.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Once he gets out, and it seemed like even back then, you know, Pac was kind of, I mean, unfortunately, in this sense, ahead of his time. Because, you know, rappers wasn't really going to jail, and he was going viral back then. You know what I'm saying? Like now, it's almost like a marketing employee. You get shot, go to jail, beef with a couple niggas, you know what I'm saying? And you blow up. But that shit was just organic. That
I don't know why anybody would want to do that shit.
That's what they do.
50 Cent made
That's what they do, though.
That.
You know what I mean? But Pac was, you know, he was kind of, you know, trailblazing, unfortunately. So after he gets out, it's fair to say his celebrity just shot up. And then he come with Me Against the World, right?
But Me Against the World came before he got locked up.
Did he? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to. He was really?
Yeah, because he was the first artist to have a #1 album while he
You're right. I remember that.
While being in prison.
Right. And so, and y'all was a part of that album, right? Yeah. What songs was y'all on that album?
Me Against the World, title track, and a song called
Outlaw. Yeah, that was my shit. Yeah. So that album, man, that shit sold. What, that shit went platinum in like what, a month or some shit like that?
I don't remember, but it did pretty good for him.
That shit did really well. Yeah, that's when
they had Dear Mama on it.
Yeah, Dear Mama.
Before the streaming days.
Yeah,
so many classic records on that.
Were you in the studio when he did Dear Mama?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was that studio session like? Like, cause that, I mean, you know, that was kind
It
of
was
the first
pretty
of its
typical.
kind.
You know, Pac did it. You know, a lot of songs he recorded in punches and bunches. You know what I mean? So it was just a you know, another song amongst many.
But when you heard it, did you know? I'm asking you personally. Did you know it was special? Like, damn, this is gonna be them ones, or was
I knew
it?
Dear Mama was special once because Dear Mama, the original version, was a lot more grittier. It wasn't the version that y'all ended up hearing
with the guitar production.
Okay.
Yeah, it got you know, got sauced up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be, you know, to put out as a single.
Did y'all have any apprehensions of it? Like, nigga, that's soft. What is that, Dear Mama? Like, you know what I mean?
Nah, man, because you just understand the kind of pop artist Pac is. You know what I mean? And you understand that artist is special. It's rare. He can go in the studio and literally talk about anything and get you to feel it. You know what I mean? That's a special talent.
Yeah,
not every artist can do that.
Real
Another
shit.
artist might do Dear Mama the same exact way, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, the funny thing about hip hop, I always said that it's not necessarily, because I would use Pac as a reference, right? I would say if you look at Tupac and say a E40, right, or a Twister, you know, technically they can wrap circles around Pac. You know what I mean? But I always say it's always who's the best communicator. You know what I mean? Who can invoke that emotion? You know what I'm saying? Who can resonate? You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I always knew was special about Pac. You know, he knew how to say the words. He knew, and you could tell it came from the heart. You know what I mean? So that's why it would translate and resonate. You know what I mean? So when he did Dear Mama, and that was that probably the lead single on Me Against the World?
What was the first single on Me Against the World? I don't think it was Dear Mama.
You sure? I think it was Dear Mama. It was probably the biggest, one of the biggest songs.
Tears. It definitely was the biggest song from that album.
So many tears. You're right.
Mother's Day right around the corner. You gonna hear Dear Mama.
Real shit. When my mother passed away, when my mother passed away, I used to just ride and listen to Dear Mama, just in the car, tears streaming down my fucking
like
face.
That song. The music is good and everything about it.
It came from the sample comes from another great song about a mama.
Was it Sadie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sadie. Yeah, that's classic. So then after you do the Me Against the World, is this when the whole East Coast shit, West Coast shit start kind of brewing with him and Biggie?
Yeah, I guess you could say it's around that same time.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things started happening.
Yeah. So I'm curious, bro, you being from the East Coast, and obviously you're going to ride with your man, you know, as you should. Was it ever any kind of, you know, like you conflicted, like, well, damn, this crazy. It ain't really an East Coast thing. It's just these niggas, you know?
No, that was family. It was real simple for me.
Right. Yeah. So with when Tupac, when he was at the studio and you got word that he got shot, did y'all think that it was some ill shit going on with Biggie and them? Did y'all think that? Or was it just...
Again, that's gonna be in the series.
We gotta drop the cover for the series.
My questions must be
series.
hella good, cause we gotta sell this shit.
Again, that's gonna be because you know that's what the people want to know. They want to see. You know what I mean? And we gonna give it to them. We got to.
Yeah, real shit.
We might as well not do it if we not gonna give it to them.
I think what we can say is Yuck did the show, and he's he a Tupac fanatic, love Pac, love y'all.
That's my brother.
And Yuck was on tour with Big at the time, and he was like, man, he said he had multiple conversations with Big, where Big was like, why you think that's us? Like, why you think? Like Yuck firmly believes that had nothing to do with what had transpired.
Right.
Like that was his opinion from his words being the weed man on tour.
I can imagine. Still smoking out the nose?
Nah, you were doing that, dude.
That was his opinion, because we had asked him, his opinion on it. And again, he obviously had love for Pac.
Yeah. Do you share that opinion, Edie?
What's that?
What he just said. What Yuck said.
From what I know now, I kind of look at life differently. As men, we attract energy towards us.
Yep.
And I don't believe in placing blame anywhere other than solely where it belongs. You know what I mean? And as especially as black male, we got to learn to have accountability for everything. You know what I mean? And there's enough blame to go around. But at this point, 20 some odd years later, it's a moot point to me. You know what I mean? About who's responsible, who did what. Everybody know what they did. Everybody know what it is at this point. Right. And so my opinion doesn't even matter at this point.
Okay. So so going into hit 'em up, fuck, it's up at that point. You know what I mean? It's up.
Flames is up.
Yeah, it's up.
Fire's ignited.
It's on. You know what I mean? So when you heard when Pac said, "Listen, we about to ride on these bitch ass niggas, it's up, nigga. We finna do." I mean, what was that?
We don't want to skip over to Death Row though, because All Eyes on Me is before Hit 'Em Up, right? Isn't All Eyes on Me before Hit 'Em Up?
No, I don't think so. Hit 'Em Up.
It's all around the same. So,
Yeah.
Hit 'Em Up came out that summer. All Eyes on Me came out in February. Hit 'Em Up came out in July, same year.
Okay. Damn. See, we getting old. All this shit
Because
running together,
because he
bruh.
comes
All
out,
this
Suge
shit
gets
running
him out,
together.
brings him to the West.
Because I lived, I watched it on the outside, but I'm watching this shit as a fan. You know what I mean?
Hey, I'm biased. I'm gonna stay biased on the podcast. Sebo was on that album. I know All Eyes on Me. I remember it.
You know some lyrics from that?
I remember Trading War Stories.
Trading War Stories.
I remember Trading War Stories. Ain't hard
that
to
was
find.
a big day for me when Bo came in the studio and like all of them was in the studio. Bo, 40, everybody. And so at this point now, you talk about getting the crash course in Bay. You know what I mean? Boom. At this point, I didn't, ran into everybody a couple of times, but we ain't do no music with them.
Yeah.
We ain't get on no records with them. And so the day Bo came to the studio and Pac was like, get on this. And we was all getting on it, and Bo was over there writing, and I was over here writing. That was a big day for me.
Yeah.
And we
Bo was my favorite rapper at that point.
Hey, we could get into it later, but he's in my top 3. He know.
Oh yeah,
but,
for sure.
But so were y'all. So
for sure.
A couple years later, we ended up getting a chance.
Bo
to be
was
in the
my
studio.
favorite rapper at that point.
Yeah, Bo was
sick.
That was a big day for me, man.
Yeah. Gas Chamber, Autopsy.
Oh my goodness, Gas Chamber.
Even that best of Sebo, the best of that shit
that's
was hard.
Man,
Straight
that's
Killer on that bitch.
Summertime right there.
That's in your car in the CD
Birds
right
in
now.
the kitchen.
Birds in the kitchen, yeah. Sebo's that dude.
We upgraded. I'm gonna Tesla. I gotta get it on the screen.
And he's still hard to this day. Like
He's still rapping.
Oh, the new one.
New Bo is hard as hell too.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I was just on the plane listening to the shit he did with, about Mozzie, the Body for Body.
Oh yeah, the Body for Body.
I was
song.
like, damn, this nigga Bo still hard.
That album was hard. That's that Rep My City. The Problem. The Problem album. That shit was dope.
So y'all do the hit 'em up shit. You know what I mean? Well, back up. So Pac, he's in jail. Suge go gets him. What was y'all thoughts about? I mean, I know you following your guy, but what was y'all thoughts about him going to death row and y'all going that direction? Was y'all with that, or was y'all kind of like?
I can't speak for nobody else. I'll just speak for me and say that I was, I think for us, we just wanted to see him out of prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? We kind of felt like the industry had left him for dead, and at least somebody was, you know what I mean?
Did y'all have ill feelings toward Interscope?
Not at the time, because we understood, it was all the same thing. You know what I mean? It was just basically like, you deal with him.
Okay, right.
He won't listen to us, you deal with him.
Right. But at the time, did y'all understand that that's what was going on?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now Pac gets out. Y'all do the hit 'em up shit. So what was that studio session like? I'm just
I can
curious.
imagine that energy,
Yeah,
bro.
you feel me? Like,
Man, you gotta ask the Goody Mob, because they was there that night. I was high.
A Goody Mob was in the studio?
Yeah, they had came by for,
yeah,
lit.
yeah,
They had came by for a bit. Around that time, man, everybody wanted to sign to Death Row.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean? It was the biggest train moving.
Yeah,
So
real
if
shit.
you was unhappy where you was at, you was coming to see what's going on at Death Row, because it seemed like they print money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
What was the environment like? Because, I mean, you hear the stories of niggas getting whooped, getting pissed on, and the bullying and all that. Did you ever see any of that type shit?
The Can-Am stories is treacherous.
Or the rug, you step on that certain rug.
Yeah.
Right?
Outlaw series.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
I must be really good at this. You know
Bro,
what I'm saying?
I think
I'm
that's like your
asking
fourth
the-
or
Asking all the right questions, Court. I'm gonna give you that much. You doing your due diligence, man, and I respect that, man. And as an interviewer myself,
He dug deep.
Yeah.
I respect the craft, man.
He's in
You
the
know what I
abyss
mean?
of the outlaw history.
We trying to
He
paint the
trying
picture.
different angles and everything. You know
He's like
what I mean?
switching the
But I
question around
got
a
you.
different way.
But-
I'm gonna ask you the same
Yeah,
question.
throw a fastball at me,
yeah.
then take a little off and throw.
But I got you. I
little
snuck
change
one
up
in there
at
though.
me.
I snuck one in there that you didn't catch though.
I caught it.
Yeah. Oh, you could, no, you didn't caught it. You didn't catch it because you got it. When he asked you the question, I said, "Yeah, did you share that?" You know, and I looked at it.
I know
Oh, you knew what I was doing?
Yeah.
He just gave you a little free one.
just
Okay.
gave- yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. I
He gave
see.
he gave you the
I
sample
want
so
the
that
interview.
I thought I got over.
I don't want to be saying Outlaw series the whole interview, but
I thought
Outlaw
I
series.
got over. I thought I got one over.
Coming
gotta
soon.
give the fiends a taste. And
He
then,
like,
you know.
nah, I'm just here so I don't get
gotta
fined.
give him a little
The
taste,
sample keep
man.
him coming back.
You gotta give him a little taste, man. Just like, fiends on the block. Give him a little sample, try that, and then they be calling your phone like, yo, I need that.
Right, real
That's
shit.
how we want them about this Outlaw series because we're gonna do it in the same vein as the Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Oh,
break
so
it
you gonna
down
do
and
it-
take everybody in the begin to the beginning because our story is not as it's not as simple as people may think.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
absolutely. It's deep.
We
Yeah.
are connecting in a lot of different ways, and it was a process to get us to the point where you can hear
Mm-hmm.
all of us on the record like Hit 'Em Up, and
Yeah.
Made Niggas and all the other records we eventually did together.
Yeah, speaking of Made Niggas, hard ass song. It was
One
on
of my favorites.
Yeah, one of my favorites too.
Mhm.
It was on what soundtrack was that? Gridlock or
It was on the Gridlock.
was it
soundtrack.
Gridlock?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, hard ass song.
And Super Cop soundtrack.
okay,
It originally came out on the Super Cop soundtrack, Jackie Chan movie.
Is that a sample?
No, that was somebody that came in there and played that.
Okay, is it
He played that for 6 minutes.
Is that an
Straight.
interpolation of something though?
No, he just came up with
okay.
that. Pac was like, I want some classical shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like some Beethoven type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
And the dude just went up in there.
Killed that shit.
Shout out to his name is Ronnie King.
Okay,
Shout out to Ronnie King. He's an excellent piano player. He's played on a lot of different huge records.
yeah,
I can't run his whole catalog, but
yeah.
he's a well-known session player in LA, and
Mm-hmm.
Johnny J had him come through and he just played that shit.
Yeah, rest in peace
And
to Johnny J.
had the rest in peace Johnny J. Johnny J had the drums.
Mm-hmm.
I think between him and Daz, that's like a majority of all
And
eyes on me.
He played that shit the same way for 6 minutes. I'll never forget it because I sat there. He didn't fuck up one time.
Wow.
Because back then it was before Pro Tools.
Yeah.
So if he fucked up, you had to stop it.
Yeah, yeah,
Start, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, because
Cut
it
the
was
tape,
real to
all
real
kind
and
of
shit. Yeah, real to real.
It
back
was
then.
man, look, that shit's tedious.
Damn, so he played that. That's crazy.
He played that for 6 minutes and did not fuck up one time.
Damn.
He practiced a couple times and he was like, all right, I got it. And
Uh-huh.
pressed record and he played that.
Damn.
The way you hear it right now.
Wow. That's a hell of a story. So now I gotta figure what I'm gonna ask you. What ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? We just
I
gonna
want to
flash the
know
link.
before the incident, unfortunately, that went down with Pac. Machiavelli was done, the album,
Mhm.
and there's all sorts of talk about the cover art and what he's saying in the album and everything. Like, you guys are heavily on the album and part of that album.
Mhm.
What was his state of mind when he was doing that? When you guys were doing that album? Because it does feel like a little bit of a shift from All Eyes on Me.
Mhm.
It's just,
Well, that was actually like, Pac saw himself as a full-fledged member of the Outlaws.
Mhm.
But in his mind, he was like, okay, I'm going to put my solo album out first.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's going to introduce y'all. And so right after that was going to be, our album. And you get the whole full
Still I Rise?
experience
Is
of
that the
all of
Still I
us.
Rise album?
It eventually became Still I Rise. A lot of those songs, we were recording for that album.
Okay, so Still I Rise was songs. It wasn't necessarily pieced together. It was songs y'all actually did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. We just didn't finish them. They was in bits and pieces. Somebody might have needed to do a verse here, you know what I mean? But songs like Teardrops and Closed Casket, that whole song was done. you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Okay. Is it true that Pac he wanted to release Machiavelli as a mixtape?
Yes, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
He just wanted to throw that motherfucker out, huh?
Yeah. Shit was like, oh, Pac, please, no, please. That nigga ran over to Pac. How he was sweating like, no. Pac was like, man, we gonna press him up. We gonna drop him off at the swap meets. All over
really
LA.
said that?
Yeah. Nah. He was talking
Wow.
about pulling up to the swap meets in his Rolls Royce.
And just dumping them
and
out.
just dropping them out and letting the vendors sell them for free. He didn't even want no money.
Just to get him out of there.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And boy, that nigga shit was like, hell no, Pac, you can't do it, please.
You better mess up our check.
Yeah.
What was your relationship with Suge during this time?
Suge was like, Suge was was and still is a really funny dude. A lot of people don't know he got one of the wickedest, sharpest sense of humors, you know what I mean, I've ever come across, man. We spend a lot of time with Suge just laughing because he always had a joke, a crazy ass story, some of the wildest stories you ever want to hear, and we just love to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Our relationship obviously was a lot different, in the beginning than him and, Pox and Snoop and everybody else, because, they doing business. We was just the little homies that was, working our way in.
Did y'all feel welcome by all the other people, like the Snoops and all that? Because y'all kind of like, Pac is taking a light over at Death Row. Now he becomes a priority, and y'all with him. Did y'all
Man,
feel...
Death Row was a big-ass family in the beginning.
Okay. Wait, were you saying the beginning? At some point, did it change?
You got to watch the series to see what happened. Because we definitely going to get into that, too. We're going to get into that, too.
Right. I got a question that might not be in the series. This one might not be in the series. We talked to X-Rated. Now, X-Rated was locked up with Bo when they were writing Till My Casket Drops, I think. They co-wrote some of that together. Like, X-Rated wrote some stuff and just handed it off because they believed that that Pac was trying to sign Bo to Machiavelli Records, I think is what he said. Was that going to be a subsidiary of Death Row? Was that a real thing, like Machiavelli Records? Or
it was definitely a real thing, in Pac's,
Mine.
It was absolutely a real thing for him. Now, where Machiavelli Records was going to end up, that's debatable.
Okay. So do you think did you and Pac have any conversations? Did you think that he had plans on leaving Death Row? Because, some people say he was unhappy, then some people say he was happy, and then some people say, nah, he was going to leave. What
That's one of them questions, Court.
In the series. Coming soon in the series.
Doing a
I
great
must just
job.
be really good.
You're doing a great job, man. That's one of them questions right there. I will be honest with you. That's
okay.
That's a good one. Yeah.
You making me just want to say fuck it and watch the series. 'Cause shit.
All right,
I'm getting hyped.
I'm doing a good job. I'm doing a good job.
Hey,
Come on,
your
I'm
marketing
selling,
is
baby.
on
This is the
point.
whole
I'm
point.
selling,
Marketing
baby.
baby.
Is on point because I'm like, shit, I need to watch this motherfucker because I want to know.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that we didn't get a chance to speak on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's a
Right.
lot of things that
Right.
get discussed about Tupac. There's a lot of things that get discussed about us. It seems like, 20 plus years later, if you want to get some views, if you want to go viral, talk about Pac, you know what I mean? And we just sit back and we listen and we be like, okay, one day it's going to be our turn and we're going to set the record straight once and for all.
Yeah.
And this is our chance to do that. And it's a documentary that's going to come with the series and we're going to, finally say what we need to say.
So in the series, you get the real story from the family and the people that were there. What about the All Eyes on Me movie? Has nothing to do with the series, just how L.T. Hutton doing it, how Afeni had problems or allegedly had problems with it. Like, do you feel it was a good representation of the story? Did it move too quick? What was your personal feelings on it?
I feel like I learned a very, very, very valuable lesson as far as what it takes to make a good movie and a not so good movie.
And it was on the hills of Straight Outta Compton.
It was on the hills of Straight Outta Compton.
Right.
And let me say this first. I feel like people didn't give All Eyes on Me a fair chance because of people's love for Pac. And at the end of the day, he ain't coming back. He gone. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, that shit doesn't fuck with nobody harder than his family and the people that know him. But his fans, they love him so much, they wanted basically All Eyes on Me and to see Pac when they went to the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as far as other movies, they gave other movies more of a chance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at Straight Outta Compton, great movie, don't get me wrong. But the last 30 minutes of Straight Outta Compton is like, come on. You know what I mean? That shit ain't no better than All Eyes on Me. You know what I mean? That shit ain't no better than Notorious. You know what I mean? Because it's very difficult to tell a story, a period piece, one, you know what I mean? Especially, and then you're trying to get actors to reenact some shit that actually happened. And Pac is an energy that you really just, it's hard to duplicate.
Yeah.
It's hard to really, you know what I mean, bring back. But no excuses. We took on the task to get the, you know, to be involved with the movie, and shout out to LT Hutton because he did his very best. Everybody involved, Betty Boom did their very best. And I think over time that movie will get more respect and love than it did at the time. It was just a lot of controversy. A lot of misinformation was out there. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, a lot of people did their best to, you know, get that movie derailed.
Yeah. Wow.
The actor did look like Pac a little bit.
That was my next question.
I thought
How
he
do you
looked
feel
like
like Demetrius Shipp Jr.,
Yeah.
which his dad, by the way, produced
Toss It Up.
Toss It Up. You know what I mean? How do you feel he did in representing Pac?
Man, Demetrius Shipp was a newcomer. He was not an actor by trade. You know what I mean? That was Michael B. Jordan that got a call from his agent and said, yo, who tried out for the movie and didn't get it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit,
And
really?
Yeah, a lot of people did. Him, Nick Cannon, a lot of people tried out for
I'm
that
glad
role.
Nick Cannon didn't get that.
And didn't get it. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, Meech earned that role. He did 3 auditions, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't just hand it to him.
Right.
You know what I mean? He auditioned for it more than once, and he ended up being the best one for that role. And I think he did an outstanding job, especially for somebody that wasn't an actor by trade and you know, literally was, you know, was the cable guy.
Right.
When he got that role.
Wow.
Taking care of his family.
Let me ask you this, and hopefully this ain't a documentary question. Do you feel like with all the chatter and everything pretty much above board at this point, especially you know, YouTube and all of that, do you feel like Pac's murder is solved, even though, you know, the police have not, you know, called anyone to charge him, but just from, you know, with the Keefe D's and all of that, do you feel like it's solved?
Well, where I'm from, we never waited on the police to solve none of our problems. You know what I mean? And so for us, that issue was solved and resolved years ago. And we understood what it was and, you know, who was involved a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I always like to refer to his mother, who said very early when he passed away, it doesn't matter. He's not here no more. That matters way more than who did it. You know what I mean? And we're not going to give any energy to the people who did it, because then they really walking around here with their chest post out. It don't even matter. You know what I mean? You're a loser in history.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So,
you know what's interesting about not talking about everything until the series? So we talked about it before the podcast started. I was young, living in North Highlands, working at the homie studio. Pac had probably only been gone like a year or two. This is like 97, 98 maybe. And the Outlawz came to the studio, H Wood's studio. They was getting off their features and verses and grinding, hustling.
Rap hustling, man.
Yeah, it was all of them. I did some stuff with Noble in it. But even then, I was young, so I just shut the fuck. And I was the only white dude. So in my world, it's like, yo, just shut the fuck up and just be in the presence of dudes. Because, you know, at that time, we had already done stuff with C-Bo and the Click, and now y'all were there. So for me, I was big.
That was greatness.
I grew up on Spice and Bo and these dudes.
No doubt.
So, but even back then, the other people who were there getting verses or whatever else were asking about Pac. It had only been like a year or two. They said nothing. I don't remember them saying anything. It was, I think that y'all had like tattoos or something, like the Machiavelli, but like nobody said nothing. There was no info given. It was like, we here to do us. You know, Pac's fam, he's gone. We ain't gonna talk about it. And they, you know, it was on everyone's mind. So 20 some odd years later, he's still going to wait for the series. Because you know what I mean? Like, that's their story to tell, and it's their thing to.
Yeah, man.
To
Which
And Pac was a smart dude, you know what I mean? And he gave us a lot of jewels. And one of them he gave us that always resonated with me was mystery sells, and mystery will keep you alive forever.
wow.
That's real. He left everybody that day just like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? Because everybody thought that you would pull up and give some clarity.
Yeah.
Because at that time, there was this is the 90s, so there was no internet.
Yeah, man, it's TMI nowadays, man. You got social media. Everybody wants you to know everything.
Right.
Some shit you just
Yeah,
we'll
everything
never
ain't
know.
for social media.
You know what I mean? Everything ain't for social media,
Real
and
shit.
everything ain't for everybody.
Right. So even with but y'all end up squashing. How did it come about squashing the whole thing with Junior Mafia? Because I know even 10 years or so after that, y'all was able to mend that. How did that come about?
Yeah, rest in peace to the great K. Slay. Made
Yes.
that happen.
Yeah.
Rest in dude, that's crazy. Rest in peace, bro.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to K. Slay. You know what I mean? He was that was a bigger loss in hip hop than people really realized.
And it just
Bridge
happened.
gaps, huh? Yeah.
He did a lot for a lot of different people. That hurt.
So he was instrumental in. So how did that come about? He sat y'all down, or he called y'all, or?
Nah, Slay ain't really work like that, man. Slay was just like, hey, yo, I got an idea. You know what I mean? And Slay called, you pick up the phone, man. It's that simple. You know
So
what I mean?
y'all hadn't talked, the camps hadn't talked prior to that? It wasn't.
Well, interestingly enough, there's and it will be discussed in the series. But I'm gonna put this out there. I'm gonna put this out there for you. You know,
You gonna have to send us a graphic to put up.
women can bring down kingdoms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they can also, build kingdoms as well. And there's a young lady that was also a mutual, let's say, friend of both sides, who was also instrumental in that as well. And the series will break that down too.
Okay. Is it a known female? She in the business?
Oh yeah, she's known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh yeah."
She rap?
Come on now, Court.
Of course, hey, you're good.
Come on now, Court.
Hey, so let you incriminate yourself. I'm asking you
I'm gonna program a button to say.
This the last. I'm gonna ask you this last question. Then that's
I'm
it.
on my glass
She
shit right now.
does not rap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not what she do.
She a stylist. She's what?
She
I'm
don't
on
rap.
my glass shit right now.
Yeah.
It's a little Kim.
So now I want to just kind of transition and focus on you. So you went through talk about your weight loss journey. What inspired you to say, you know what, I'm gonna change up some things and get in shape? Was it a health scare or just one day?
Shout out to COVID.
COVID?
Yeah. First of all, rest in peace to anybody that died from COVID. You lost a family member or anything from that. This horrible pandemic that we've been going through for the past 2+ years. But absolutely. But when it came about and I started to, do the research on who gets affected the most, what can happen to you, so on and so forth, I was about 300 pounds.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And we was quarantining and cooking and eating and I'm like, yo, this can go left real easy for you, dog. You know what I mean? So I decided to make some changes, man, and slowly but surely, it was keeping me alive. You know what I mean? But I still ended up getting COVID late 2020, like August 2020. I got it. Now, lucky enough for me, it didn't affect me as hard as it affected some other people.
Right.
But I did. I lost some weight, and I was like, okay, let me just keep going in that direction. And so a good friend of mine that I had worked with on music side stayed in shape. You know what I mean? And he seen me. He seen that I had the desire. He saw the desire in me. He was like, yo, if you really want to learn, if you really want to do this, you know what I mean, meet us at the gym. And you know what I mean, I'll help you. And I did it. You know what I mean? And fell in love with it from the moment I stepped in the gym.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. Yeah.
Now he's a professional hiker, bro.
Yeah.
It became a lifestyle for me. It changed my whole life in a lot of different
What were
ways.
some of the changes that you made? Was it dietary mainly?
Well, first for me, I had to learn how to be consistent.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I had to learn how to, not expect to look in the mirror and see results after 2-3 weeks.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And once it became a habit, once I accepted it as a lifestyle, then I started to get into like what works for my body. What should I be eating? When should I be eating it? What time I should be eating? How much of it I should be eating? It's a whole nother process to the exercising. You know
For
what
sure.
I mean? And I'm still learning that, to be honest with you. I'm not all the way well versed, and I'm still learning. My body is changing because of what I'm doing to it. And so, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm, I started to see results, especially when, just saying no to French fries.
Right.
You know what I mean? Simple shit.
Yeah.
Not eating fried chicken all the time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No soda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just small little changes led to,
Yeah, that's why I tell people all the time. Like, you only in the gym, you figure an hour a day, right? It's what you do the other 23 hours of the day. You know what I mean? So, and it's consistency, and it's portion control too. You know what I mean? Like, if you do I always say, you can cheat, you can live, you can indulge. But if you do the right thing 85, 90% of the time, then you can fuck off. You know what I mean? You can have some pizza or fried chicken.
You like Pizza Court?
Matter of fact, I like frozen pizza.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like frozen pizza.
Not
Yeah.
the
hood frozen
Not even
pizza?
like DiGiorno or
I'm
nothing
talking
like
about
that?
no.
What I noticed with people that have this as a lifestyle and are in shape and have accomplished certain goals, such as The Rock, when they fuck off,
Oh,
they
they
fuck
big.
off big.
Yeah,
It's
real
like
shit.
You know what I mean?
pizzas,
Because they
barbecue
so
donuts,
disciplined.
So disciplined.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell
Most
you
of the
why,
time,
because
man,
you're gonna burn it off.
Right.
You know, because when you in the gym, you just like you say, the people that look the best, I mean, physically, is the people that know their body. You know what I mean? Like, you know what to eat, what not to eat. You know how to get it to snap back, all of that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm learning right now.
Okay. Well, shit.
We gotta do a workout video with you two.
Yeah, real talk. So
I
what
would love to.
what you about let me see. Hold on, let me guess. You about 240?
No.
What?
I'm 220.
220.
Ooh, talk that
Okay.
shit. He dropped dub
Okay.
on that.
Yeah, damn.
And
Congratulations,
I
bro.
actually got all the way down to 210.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
mean?
you felt
I
like
put
you
on
was
some
too
muscle
small.
weight.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
The muscle weight, you know what I mean? I started to bulk up a little bit. But
Did you play sports?
High
Football?
school, yeah, I played football.
Okay. That's why I thought you was 240, because you got a football frame.
I played
Okay.
football in high school.
Yeah. So hiking is your preferred exercise.
No, actually, I love the gym, man. I
Okay.
like to be in that gym, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Getting that pump on and really pushing myself.
Yeah.
Hiking is more for the mind.
For the mind. Yeah. Speaking of your mind, I mean, you seem to always have been a positive brother, but even now, of recent, what do you call yourself, a hope dealer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why? Explain that. Break that down. Hope
Well, I
dealer.
did 2 projects called A Hope Dealer 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one I actually recorded during a period of my life when I was going through a whole heck of a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed some hope, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was kind of like, talking to myself. That whole project is real personal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I think during that time you was dealing with family stuff. Your mom was fighting cancer. You had a ill child and all of that.
Yep.
Did everything work out with that?
Yeah, they doing much better.
Okay.
Just talked to my mama today. She's good.
Thank God.
She'll
Good
be
news,
out
man.
here
Yeah.
in a
Thank
few
God.
weeks. And my daughter is strong and firecracker and amazing. But yeah.
Okay. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
Man, them kids be another reason to get in shape.
Yeah.
Not tool.
Hell yeah.
Chasing them around,
Absolutely.
wanting to be
No
around.
doubt.
Be like, oh shit, I gotta be
No
around.
doubt.
And especially us as black men, we already predisposed to so much shit. So
Yeah.
like I always try to tell people, preventative health care is important too.
100%.
Yeah.
And that was my thinking with the COVID shit. Like,
Yep.
let me get ahead of it
Mm-hmm.
instead of, getting behind it. And
Yeah, catch up now, so you got to catch up later. It'd be too late. Because, man, physicals go a long way. You know what I mean? Even me being in shape, I get physicals because of my family history twice a year.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, on my mom's side, people don't live really out their 50s. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if I subscribe to that shit, I probably got about 10 good years left. You know what I mean?
Fuck
You know?
that. Yeah.
But so preventative, I went to the doctor and just to find out my A1C was elevated. So I was like pre-diabetic, you know what I mean? As in shape as I am, but I was able to get ahead of it, you know what I'm saying? But if I had never went to the doctor, I still would have been eating the bullshit that was shooting it up, you know what I mean? And fuck,
That's
I could
crazy.
I could be,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
On insulin and all kind of shit just from simply not going to the doctor. Or worse, you know what I mean?
Physicals is important.
Yep.
I just got one as well. You know what
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You had to, well, shit, you about my age. You had to do the prostate thing yet?
I'm in the process, man.
Oh no!
The podcast done went left.
Hey, that's gonna be in the series too.
This is great information, man, because you know what I mean. Like that's silent killers, man.
Yeah, real shit.
And us as black men, you know, and men in general, we have a lot of pride, and we don't want to go to the doctor. Nope. You know what I mean? I had an uncle that passed away, and he was determined not to die in the hospital.
Wow.
Just you know what I mean? He just was like, nah, he didn't. You know, he dropped dead in his kitchen.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to die in the hospital because that's his fear or phobia or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
he was probably an older gentleman too.
Of course.
Yeah, the older generation.
Old school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't down to no doctor. I'm a down. You know what I mean?
Hey, all jokes aside.
Fall on my sword type shit.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, I just saw Chappelle at the Hollywood Bowl and he brought Busta out. But Spliff said he had just beat prostate cancer. Wow. Like, he literally, he's jumping around. They did a whole 30-minute set, busted.
Wow.
And then Spliff at the end of the set took the mic at a comedy show. Was like, everyone should go get checked. He got real serious for a second.
Like,
But he had just beat prostate cancer. So it's real.
It's true.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. It's true. I'm 45 now, so I think my doctor, thank God, it's a small little petite Asian woman. But yeah, I had to go through that process, and I was like, Lord Jesus.
Thank God it's not like a big old Mexican man or something.
Well, that's what you talking about. I think is the colonoscopy.
No, the prostate check.
Yeah,
just where you do the prostate check.
Yeah, I did a prostate check recently, but I got to do the colonoscopy.
Oh, shit.
Now that's
coming soon.
Where it gets a little invasive.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the series, y'all.
Yeah, that's something
I'm not looking forward to that, but
that's something different. But better that than, finding out something wrong and it's too late.
100%.
And they like, shit, dude, you got 30 days. You like, oh, fuck.
100%.
All I had to do was just let y'all take a camera up there, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so we went left. We want to go back. Go back to the
man. This is good information. We ain't gonna just sit around and talk about Tupac and Outlaws all damn day.
Don't say we don't share
gems with the world. We gotta talk about colonoscopies and prostate exams, man.
But you know
and
what?
getting people to
neuter your animals,
serious.
Neuter your pets.
Neuter your pets.
Neuter your pets. Yeah.
What is that?
Never mind. Do not neuter your pets. Never mind.
He lost me on that one.
They did like the game show. They like neuter your animals.
No, it's true, man. Because you have millions of cats running around here if we don't neuter.
I love this part. I love this episode.
I hate cats though. I fucking hate.
Get them
cats.
neutered, bro. We have too many. Yeah.
Nah, I just hate. Nah, get the fucking claws taken off. Get them declawed.
I'm not a cat person either.
That's called neutered and spayed.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. That's when they take the nails and they cut the.
Cats
cut your balls.
I've never been a
off.
cat fan.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone out there likes cats.
I like cats.
And I'm a Leo.
I grew up with a cat, man. I had a cat. It was my best friend.
I like
really?
cats.
What was his name?
Cat.
Garfield.
That's a great name.
What
I
kind
had
of cat
two,
was it?
and one was little and one was big.
Oh, that just had a name? Like,
he was a jet black cat.
Uh-huh.
He was so black that in the nighttime he'd be walking around and all you could see is his green eyes.
Oh,
Oh, he was black cat.
Oh, scary.
Oh, that's it.
What is it? Would that be a Siamese or something like that?
He was just a plain old black cat.
Hood cat.
Hood cat. Yeah.
Alley cat.
What happened to him? He ran away or?
I mean, I left, and then my mama gave.
Oh, you abandoned that nigga.
Yeah, I had to go.
He's I'm about to go
Why
be
you
a,
didn't take it with you?
I'm gonna go become an outlaw.
Imagine that.
You show up with a cat.
Dogs are too codependent.
Yeah.
I like a cat. Cat
cat do their own thing, huh? They're not really even affectionate.
It don't even need you. It don't need
Self-sufficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's real.
Autonomous. You know what I mean?
Autonomous,
All you got to
yes.
do is feed the cat and change the cat litter. The cat
That's it.
But you don't even got to do that if it's outside. They'll find their own food.
Leave a little
Yeah,
cat
for
door,
sure.
huh? Go out.
Everybody here that works
They'll
in the
come
studio.
back with some company though. You know?
Yeah, they will.
I don't
They
know if
will.
you necessarily want a street cat.
That's why you get your animals neutered, bro. That's what I was
Rats,
saying.
mice,
Yeah, they'll come
birds,
back with all
kind
kind of shit because they collectors too. You know what I mean? Cats are
savages.
collectors. They'll
They're
go out
savages.
there and bring some shit back for you.
Yeah.
All of the coworkers in here, they all got dogs, but no one can leave. Every day they're like, we gotta go home to the dog, or
Oh,
the
yeah.
dog will die. And
It's like having a baby, bro.
yeah, I got 2 cats right now, and it's like them motherfuckers be good all weekend.
That's the exact reason I don't have
They'll
a
be
dog
all right.
now, and I want a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
But
love dogs too.
move
my
around so much,
lifestyle,
Yeah.
he'd be lonely.
You know
he'd
what?
be miserable. And
My,
you know what
my
I mean?
thing is, I grew up with a dog. I had a Labrador Retriever.
That's a good dog.
Yeah, I named her Simone because I had a crush on this chick that worked in the lunchroom in elementary school. Her name was Simone.
Wow.
I thought that shit was flattering. I was in elementary school. I said, I named my dog after you. She just kind of looked at me like,
You're like, you ain't never getting no play.
You know what I'm saying? I was like 8, 9. She was probably 21, 22.
She like, you definitely there.
Yeah, she had a Jerry curl and shit.
Forget about it. You named your dog after me?
I did.
So what am I, a bitch?
But see, what I don't want to get an animal because you get attached to them like people.
Facts.
You know
become part of your family, man.
Yeah, and then they only got a life expectancy.
And they
of,
die,
7,
you get
8 years.
depressed. Yeah.
I done seen people cry real tears
That's what
over
I'm
their
saying.
dog.
No,
That's
facts.
what I'm saying.
Cry
I don't
real
want to deal with
tears
it.
over
I don't
their
want to
dog,
deal with the loss. You know what I mean? So, but I want to get back to Hope Dealer. Like, I like that. You know what I mean? Like, what made you really just? I'm sure it's maturity in life. You live life long enough, it'll teach you how to live. But what made you just really get on some introspective, just positive type shit? You know?
Yeah, well, like
to
you
promote
said,
that.
Court, I kind of always been a positive dude. You know what I mean? Like, I never was. I'm not the kind of person to get too low or get too high.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I like to stay even keel.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, at that time, I really needed some hope my damn self. You know what I mean? Life was definitely kicking me in the ass a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
At the time, I was living in the studio. You know what I mean? Like literally living in the studio. And so all I had to do was make music. You know what I mean? And kind of work out my issues by myself with the music.
Yeah.
And that's what you hear. I recorded, produced, engineered the majority of that album.
Yeah. What kept you moving aside from music? Is there a spirituality that you have? Is it your kids? Was it just just refusing to give up? Like, what made you just not say, just fuck
it's
this?
a combination of everything. It's
Yeah.
a combination of everything. You know what I mean? And also just not wanting to just really understanding that, life is a journey.
For sure.
And learning to find the beauty in the journey and not always the results or the destination.
Right.
That whole period taught me that valuable lesson.
Yeah. How important do you think perspective is in life?
It might as well be the most important thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because me and you could see the same thing, but our perceptions to them make them very different from one another.
I tell
perception
people
and
that.
seeing is different as
Absolutely. Perspective, that's all this life shit is, because life is going to happen regardless. It's all about how you deal with what happens. You know what I mean? Because people will tell me that I'm either cold-hearted or I don't care about things. And I'm like, nah, I feel very deeply. Actually, I'm really hypersensitive. So I have to have that logic filter on. You know what I mean?
100%.
You got to run the reality through the logic filter, and then what's left, you let that affect you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just allow your emotion to be emotional about everything, you be a wreck. So you can, like you say, you can look at some fucked up shit. You can still see a silver lining or a lesson in it. Or acceptance. Fuck, it is what it is. Some shit just is what it is.
Yeah, and
No matter how
it's
fucked
hard
up
to
it is.
hard to deal with people like us. You know what I mean?
It is.
Especially if you enjoy a pity party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not the dude for that
man.
because I'm gonna always point to
You never
the
with
brighter
that.
side.
Yeah,
I'm never with that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I used
Exactly.
to,
Exactly.
full disclosure, I drove my ex crazy with that shit. You know what I mean? Because, she would want the pity party, and I'd be like, she'd be like, it's not always gonna end up great. And I'm like, well, actually, it is.
Right.
I don't,
Right. I'm the same
I
way,
refuse
bro.
to believe that. You know what I mean?
Like, if I hear somebody with a problem, bro, like, I'm solution oriented.
Yeah,
You know what I
me too.
mean? So I understand sometimes your hands may be tied and you can't physically do, but you can control how you look at that shit. You ain't got to sit up and perseverate on that shit and drive yourself crazy. You know what I
But
mean?
you know what I had to learn? Because I'm the same way. Sometimes we just got to listen.
Right.
Because sometimes
Yes.
people just want to get it out.
Yeah. But
I'm
it's
always
hard.
like, yo,
It's
okay,
hard,
we got a
though.
problem. Let's figure
Yeah.
the problem out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've
Yeah.
always been like that. But sometimes people just want to vent and they just want to let it out. And it's not up to us to always solve their problem either.
Yeah.
I lost my old lady for the same motherfucking reason. She'll say shit all the time, and I'd be like, it ain't that big of a deal. But she'd be like, it's just a big
You too
fucking
nonchalant. You don't care. You're emotionless. You don't
yeah.
have feelings.
Nah, it ain't
I
that big of
could,
a
I
deal.
could give some
I'm
advice.
an outlaw, baby, huh?
I could give some advice on relationship. I've been with the same woman for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Since I was 15.
Congratulations.
Round of
We get a hand
applause.
clap? Is there a
Thank you,
hand
brother.
clap button?
Thank you,
Oh,
brother.
my God.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's an accomplishment
Yeah,
nowadays, bro.
It is.
I mean, that's-
It is. So not saying
that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's just doing the work. Shit works because you want it to work, because you do the work. You feel me? And I always tell people, man, like when you have two people, like you can't lose your individuality in a relationship. You can't lose yourself. You still have to maintain who you are. Because two people, like love is not necessarily always seeing eye to eye, but as long as you're looking in the same direction. You know what I'm saying?
Moving towards a common goal together.
Yeah, and you walking in this life together, but when you start living for the other person and trying to become who they want you to become and all that, nah.
Well, shit, we've been friends for 20 years. What the fuck was you, like 5 years ago?
I was telling you this shit. I was telling you this shit, you know what I mean? So, but Fatal, let's go to you real quick.
I'm about to say, because you know what?
I'm chilling, bro.
You give relationship advice, you know what I mean? Like,
he just got
I
that
still
look
got
on his
music
face.
questions.
This dude just came back from
Go ahead.
Coachella.
They're all gonna be in the series.
Oh, they in the series? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had some shit too.
It's in the series.
Yeah, I had some shit, but I was like, okay.
Mine wasn't really Tupac questions. It was more Outlaws, post Pac, like
Okay.
stuff.
Man, shoot. Whenever,
Yeah, Outlaws. After everything had transpired. So like, you guys go to Rap a Lot? Was that the first destination after that?
We eventually did go to Rap a Lot. Shout out to Yuck, because Yuck was.
So like, what was the vibe like over there? Like, what was the vibe within the group like about moving forward and dropping albums and doing stuff like?
I mean, it's a group, and one of the hardest things to do in the music industry is keep a group together, because you got individuals with different, mindsets and aspirations and habits and faults and egos and the whole shit. So at the time, we was doing our best to stay, connected, but obviously everybody had, ideas and things they wanted to do. Like I said, shout out to Yuck, because Yuck at the time was on Rap a Lot. He was working on the Thug
Albumation.
Yeah.
The double disc.
The double disc that he put out. And he wanted us on a record called Still Ballin'. We got on that record, the remix to it, and then we got on another record called Do Your Thug Thing. And that relationship led to us meeting Lil J. You know what I mean? Jay Prince. And Jay Prince came to us at a point in our career where, he was like a heaven sent. You know what I mean? Because not only did he put some money in our pocket and embraced us with love and, had the whole Rap a Lot family wrap their arms around us, we also learned a whole lot. You know what I mean? And you interviewed him, so Jay's one of the sharpest dudes.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? In the industry, he don't talk loud, he don't talk fast, but he know what he talking about.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And he just, let us regroup. You know what I mean? Let us, and we wanted to be there. We really wanted that deal to happen. You know what I mean? And him and Suge couldn't work it out, so we went on ahead and did the Still I Rise album, and then eventually we had to take Suge to court.
Okay.
Death Row Records to court.
Yeah.
And get our freedom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's your relationship like with Suge now, if any?
Let me say,
coming to the series,
we don't talk as much as we used to, but we have mutual people that we, you know what I mean, both love and respect, and I send him love and positive energy, and you know what I mean, wish him well, man, on his journey.
Yeah, right. Nah, that's dope.
About the same time those albums were coming out, the Still I Rise and everything, I know there was also like a phenomenon, which is so interesting because you had said that one of Pac's goals was Machiavelli to be a mixtape, but I remember that shit being a mixtape. Machiavelli 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like what looked like they had paper. I think they were cassettes still back at the store by my house, but it was just like mixtape after song after song. Who was involved in that? Like, because you guys are heavily involved as far as being features on the songs or whatever else. But where did all those come from, or where was that coming from? Because if you were an Outlawz fan, let me talk as a fan. Outlawz. If you were a fan of Pac, the Outlawz, and the movement that was happening, like that's where we were getting the music afterwards. It was all right, cool. So they got the Still I Rise, and then like my store, Rasputin's, just got like fucking some paper mixtape, Machiavelli 2.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then an actual rapper did a Machiavelli, like basically imitate Pac, and it wasn't really Pac, and everybody thought it was Pac at the time, like, it was crazy after Pac passed. You know what I mean? You had cats imitating us and, you know what I mean, calling themselves the Outlaws, going around doing shows, because this was before social media and YouTube, and a lot of people didn't know what we looked like. You know what I mean? When the Hit 'Em Up video came out, it was banned like a week later. You know what I mean? From BET and MTV. So if you didn't catch it, or if you didn't have that on tape, if you didn't record it, a lot of people didn't know what we looked like. So, you know, we dealt with that whole shit, man. You know what I mean? The music being put out there, and on one hand, it was fucked up on the business side, you know what I mean, for the record companies and, you know what I mean, the estate and, you know, people that cared about the money. But, you know what I mean, for us, it was keeping our name alive in the street, and, you know what I mean, and it was legendary to have all that music out there. And I guess in the long run, it was exactly what Pac intended.
Yeah. Did you have that? I know you had the little local store in Kansas City. What was it called?
Seventh Heaven.
Did they have all them tapes there? I remember it literally got up to like Machiavelli.
I can't
8
remember.
at my store.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, the last 2 or 3 was all bogus. It was some dude
acting like Pac.
But then you
acting
do
like
have
Pac.
people like the Realist and other people who kind of sound like Pac too. I think was it he a rap a lot dude? The Realist?
Nah, the Realist was on Death Row.
Oh, he was. Yeah.
What do you think about the people that would sound Tupac-ish? You know what I mean? That would kind of rip his whole aura and cadence. What did you feel about that?
It was very frustrating to us, man, at the time. You know what I mean? Because of course that's our guy. You know what I mean? And we felt like he was the best even when he was living. We didn't need him to die to understand how great he was. You know what I mean? And so when you're dealing with a lot of, you know, hurt and pain and frustration from your, you know, losing 2 homeboys actually. You know what I mean? You mad at the world. You know what I mean? And hell no, we didn't want to hear none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? From none of them. That was doing that.
Yeah. What do you think about the current state of hip hop and the music? What's your opinion of it?
I really love hip hop, man. I love hip hop as a culture. It's a living, breathing thing to me, and it's always changing and evolving. And so because I love this culture and I love the music, I don't get caught up in, you know what I mean, well, I ain't into this artist or this artist or shit. Like, I feel like everybody is doing what they need to do, you know what I mean, to push the culture forward. And we don't get to dictate how it's supposed to sound or how it changes, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These kids do, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You either get on board or you get left behind.
Real talk.
Period, point blank. You know what I mean? Miles Davis said, adapt or die. And so I like to, you know, I use that as a reference point when I'm listening to new music and, you know what I mean, being overly judgy. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not into that shit, man. Music is music. Either you like it or you don't. And if you don't, it's all good. Don't listen to it.
Right. No, I agree. It kind of annoys me when older cats, you know, our age, they just hate on the youngins for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, oh, it's not like it was when it's not supposed to be. Nor think about it. In our day, in the 90s, it wasn't like the 80s.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? In the 90s, they wasn't rapping like Run DMC. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
So it's
Not at
supposed
all.
to evolve. It's supposed to change. And like you said, it's relevant to, it's capturing what the kids, the young, you know, it's relevant to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I dig it. I like a lot of the new music.
I feel like a lot of the people who
I could definitely get in to more of it than I could speak bad about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And anything that I would speak bad about, like I said, I just don't listen to it. That's not my flavor. But it's a ton of other artists that I will.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fuck with from this generation. You know, like Larry June and Jay Worthy.
Yeah.
2 of my favorites. Their new project is a project
Larry
that I love.
Larry June is dope.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And the list goes on and on, man. I'm looking forward to Kendrick's new album he dropping next week. I want to see where he takes it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's beautiful, and it's way more opportunity to be involved now. You know what I mean? And some people don't like that, but I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the cream always gonna rise to the top. Only the
Right.
people that feels threatened or, you know, don't feel like they good enough is mad about competition. I welcome it. I love it. You know what I mean? The more the merrier, because the greats will stand through the test of time. I don't care how many people rapping. You know what I mean?
What do you think about the social media drama that goes on? Like the bullshit. I don't know if you in tune with it, but just like, you know, you have guys our age that, you know, do the clubhouse shit and do all the messy YouTube shit.
Tell me I know who you talking about.
Well, I didn't say no name.
I didn't say you said a name. I didn't say you named
I just threw it out there. You know what I mean?
Feel like that fits
like
Chatty Patties of the world.
Yes,
the chatty.
I can tell what Edie grabbed a mic. He got some shit to say.
Yeah.
said.
And why do I suspect that we all talking about the same? I think we all talking about the same
You know, so
motherfucker.
funny because we ain't gonna say a name, but
Nah, I ain't even gonna say the name. I didn't say it enough, but
Right.
I'm just
but
people
I'm
like
sure,
that.
I'm pretty sure we are talking about
Yeah,
the same person.
people like that. You know what I mean?
man.
What's your take on that? Because we come from a different, you know, era where it's, you know, we didn't partake in certain type of behaviors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it loud and clear, man. A lot of my background and a lot of things that I seen growing up were the aftermath of the FBI's COINTELPRO program on the Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
I seen the destruction that was left behind. I learned how they did it as I got older, and the links they would go through to neutralize a movement. And I'm gonna say this: those same tactics are still at play.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, it's still at play. And hip hop is way more powerful than the Panthers or the civil rights movement as a whole, because of the amount of money it generates. And money is power in this country.
Right.
And so whenever you have access to that kind of power, you're a problem to certain people. I'm not into conspiracy theories. I'm not up here to spook nobody. I'm just spitting the facts. You know what I mean? And so that's why I don't engage in certain behavior on social media. I don't, you know, I don't get into tit-tats with people that, you know, say dumb shit. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of dumb shit that's said about my homeboy and you know, all of us. I don't go back and forth with that because I understand what's at play. You know what I mean? And I just hope the people understand that's at play. And yeah, it's entertaining, it's funny, and it's like, it's cute to, oh, you heard what such and such said. But understand what's really going on.
Yeah, it's deeper than that.
Why you being entertained.
Do you think that these individuals are plants for a bigger nefarious agenda?
I would be a fool to think that they would not be. And the possibility of them being that, I would be a fool to think otherwise. Now, if they are or not, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But to just sit there and say no, I'm a fool.
Right.
And I'm not a fool. Mom ain't raised no fool.
Right. Nah, that's a good answer, brother.
Call it hip hop police.
Yeah. That shit crazy, bro. I was curious just because we had to adjust to this social media era. You know, I didn't get on social media till like 5 years ago. I hated it. I can't wait till I can come off of it, to be very honest with you.
You sound like me.
You know what I'm saying? I really want to get away from the fucking cell phone. I hate being tethered to this fucking phone. I want to go back to pages.
All our days away from us.
I want to go back to pages, real talk.
I don't want to be so reachable all the time.
I don't want to be accessible. Yeah, that's
Let's
the
talk about it, bro. I'm not on social media.
Yeah.
I'm only on
you don't have social media?
You like Castro. Castro ain't on social media.
I'm only on it because it's a necessity for what I do. But
it's a necessary evil, so to speak. And there's a lot of great things about social media too. Don't get us wrong.
It is.
Because some great information. I've gotten great information via social media. I've connected with people that I haven't seen in a long time. You know, it's pluses to social media.
Right.
But in the wrong hands, it could be very dangerous and hella toxic.
Yeah, real
You know what I mean? And that's the only problem with it.
Yeah, real shit. So, Fatal. I call you. Can I
call
call
me
you Fatal,
bro?
Fatal, because I've been calling you Fatal. You know what I mean?
Just don't call me Fratelli or no shit like that.
Fratelli? You don't like Fratelli?
That sounds like a sandwich or some shit.
What is it?
Bro.
What is it though?
It's Fatal. It was
Fatal.
originally. I actually got Fatal tatted on me. It was young Fatal. I started as a rapper back when I was, my whole passion to get into this industry was a rapper, bro. That's all I was my entire 20s, and I just developed into being a radio personality. Yeah. Without even effort, bro. It just kind of landed in my lap, to be honest. I just got good at talking and being in front of crowds, MCing. MC means move the crowd. I'm extremely good at that shit.
And you from L.A., right?
I was born and raised, yeah.
What part of L.A.?
I grew up in Echo Park area, born in Monrovia, DeWardy area, then moved to like Palmdale, Lancaster, grew up in like high school out there.
Yeah. So what made you want to get into the entertainment shit? What did you want? What did a young Fatal want to be?
Hip-hop rapper.
So you always wanted to be a rapper?
Yeah,
You never wanted to be like a fireman or nothing like that?
Bro.
Okay.
I fell in love with hip hop. As a teenager, I seen Eminem's 8 Mile movie, bro, and that was like the biggest inspiration in the world for me, bro.
Yeah.
Because I was always like that white boy rapper, even though I'm mixed or whatever, Hispanic, whatever. I was like that, considered that white rapper. I was always like you, bro, probably around a lot of black homies in music, and I was probably the only like non-black homie in the room, and I was just, I had to be tough on my pen. It's like looking like Eminem was like an underdog story for me that I could relate to, bro. Like of having to break that racial barrier and actually have talent. And dude, Run DMC is my favorite rap group, bro. Like,
wow,
dude, Trench from Naughty by Nature is one of my favorite MCs, bro. I love hip hop, bro.
That's
Rock
impressive,
Cam,
bro.
Eric
Because
B.
a lot of cats your age,
I know hip hop history. That's why I knew Rappers Delight was the first song ever played on the radio and shit.
You know,
like,
we talk about it all the time. I'm not as school.
Yeah, I got it.
I loved rap, but I'm
hip hop.
So who's the
NorCal? I was like, I don't want to hear none of that shit.
Do you know what the sample is of Rappers Delight?
Nah, bro.
I'm just curious if you know.
Nah, I don't. I'm pretty sure. I know. I know the song. Chic.
Good times.
Yeah, good times.
I just find out.
Yeah,
yeah, give me.
Just
I'm not.
give you a little bit of game. You know,
bro.
I
can rap some Run DMC lyrics real quick. Let me know, bro. Like,
what's your favorite Run DMC song?
I like Tricky. Tricky's my favorite, bro. That's usually when I do karaoke, I usually go with Tricky, bro. That's like some karaoke shit out here, bro. I bust that shit, bro.
It's a great record, man.
Yeah, Tricky's
hella
catchy.
Yeah, I fuck with that, bro. Like,
yeah. So what?
I met this little girl. My bad. It just happens, man. That shit just came to me like
really sleazy. All they do say is please me spend some time at Rock Around. I say it's not that easy. Hey,
you know what? Next time we doing that karaoke.
I got it, bro. I got it.
We doing that.
You know what? Ironically, I think my favorite Run DMC song was catchy. Probably was "Walk This Way."
They broke that barrier between rock and roll and hip hop right there with Aerosmith.
Yeah, maybe
coming
just
through the wall, breaking the wall down.
Yeah, that video was dope as shit.
Yeah, the
video was amazing.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. So when did you hear, like, especially coming from the West Coast? And I know you younger than us.
I just turned 34. I'm getting old, Court.
Oh shit, my daughter 30.
I just turned 34 last week. Bro. Getting old, bro.
I could have been your Paul.
Oh, probably, bro. You know what I'm saying? You have a Mexican fatality.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
City
you had that long silky hair and shit. You know what I'm saying? Big nose, big. You know what I mean?
Hey.
So when did you hear gangster rap? When did you get into gangster rap?
Probably all their shit, bro. Like NWA, just getting caught up on the culture. NWA shit, their shit, like hit them up. Like, bro, Eminem and D12 actually did a diss song on YD4, bro, on Everlast back in the day on their track. And that's like one of the first times I really started getting all that shit too, bro. Because the whole Eminem era was big for me. Dre, Eminem, Snoop, like all that shit, bro.
How'd you get into like producing and shit like that?
Shit, bro. Just doing it for myself over the years, bro. Always like orchestrating my own music videos, always being hands-on, like beyond what an artist would even do, bro. Just I always had a vision and shit. I think like ahead of time, bro. I see shit done before it's even started. And I realized the deeper I got into it and owning that's a very rare talent, bro. Like especially when it's super defined visions and you can literally just see shit out and then bring the people in plays, almost quarterback a whole play and put the team in place to run the play. I'm good at that.
Yeah, no, you are, because I've been around you. You're very creative.
So when I got into that, like when I started honing that more, I realized, bro, I'm so much bigger than just art. Especially I'm getting older, bro. I was like in my mid-20s, and I'm getting older. You have to find ways to reinvent yourself and stay relevant as you get older, and that's where a lot of people fail. Yeah, they do. They're one hit. Even if they have a hit song or a hit something, a hit movie or something, if they don't have a follow-up, you fizzle away.
Yeah, I always say that you're never too old to pivot. You know what I mean?
You got to reinvent yourself. Yeah. So like the radio side and the personality on the radio was literally my rebirth almost.
How long you been doing radio?
Like 6.5 years now.
Nice.
It's almost 7 years.
Nice. Yeah. So was one of those pivots getting into the No Limit Latin?
Yeah, man. Well, we've been me and Excel Donald been talking about for a couple of years, a few years now, man. But it just is. I felt like it was all timing.
How did that come about? I mean, you know, I'm No Limit. Everybody knows that. So now we have this arm of No Limit Latin. Yeah. What made you just want to focus on the Latin market?
Embracing my roots, man. I've always been more Americanized, but I am Latino, bro. Like I have some of my cousins are the most cholo looking, like real like cholo cousins. I'm like the Americanized white boy version, like that likes hip hop and all, like with this other shit.
You mean like the zoot suits?
Yeah, like... bro, with the fucking Cortez on, the Nike Cortez with the Dickies and
listening to Lil Rob.
Yeah, summer nights and shit.
So
like a
your
cholo.
uncles and shit probably the plug. The cowboy hats.
I got some family like that, man. Yeah, some Theo parties be popping. You know what, man? Just this whole process, bro, like to get here, I feel like I had to allow things to fall into place, even with that No Limit Latin thing, bro. Like it's something XL I've been talking about. Obviously, I know his affiliation with P, and like he brought you up, and you guys know each other, and it just took a second, bro, and now it's here. It just had to groom itself almost without effort, and like the way we got connected organically. Sure. I feel like we're at the brink of that actually becoming a reality. Yeah, and especially with the Latin stuff, man, that's my culture. Like I'm doing a lot more Spanish type of production now, mixing that in, because that lane is ginormous, bro. It's just as big as hip hop, bro. To be honest with you, and that says a big statement, because hip hop is, like you said, how influential in the whole world is hip hop, but that Latin shit is just as much equally. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's huge, bro. It's festivals, it's stadiums, it's countries, That's where I'm going for international shit, and I think that's where we're gonna tap in the whole No Limit.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I'm more like on some Americanized, but I know a little bit. Oh, and I'm mixing. I have writers that are helping me with the pronunciation of some of these Spanish songs. And stuff.
Is there any artists over there yet with the No Limit Latin?
I got basically my project right now is gonna head it off, and I got an artist right now that we're working on. We're developing right now, and I got my own thing with XL too, though. I'm with Fatal Music, and I have an artist named Cora right now that I'm developing. She's from the Bay. Okay. A white girl from the Bay that's actually swagged out for once. That's not corny. We're going to make her tight, man. So
nice. So how did you get into the podcasting?
Pandemic, pre-pandemic.
Same thing.
Man. Well, I did Dash Radio for a minute too. That's actually where I met this.
Dash too.
Yeah, that's where I met this guy over there at Dash.
Yeah. Okay.
I did his show. He did mine. I had a program over there, and then we just got connected. And I think podcast was the next evolution of the pandemic after everything got shut down. We had to go in the house.
Okay. So let me ask you, so with the age gap, and I mean, what made y'all click like that, to say, let's team up and do some shit?
I respect who he is and his culture,
and I respect self-motivated motherfuckers, you know what I mean? He's one of the most self-motivated people, you know what I mean, in my particular circle, you know what I mean? And I like that, because I'm self-motivated, and he just came with the idea. He was like, look, this is what I want to do. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Set up the studio for you. All you got to do is just come in.
He was patient, bro. He took a minute, bro, because it was during the pandemic, and I was doing a lot of this shit, bro. Street shit, industry shit, and I had to it took a minute, bro, but he was literally patient, bro, with me, bro, and he could have jumped ship and went anywhere else or done his own shit or just bought his own equipment and did his own shit and had the platform or got with anyone else that probably wanted.
I got podcast equipment in my house right now.
Saying, but he literally waited out for me almost a year, to be honest with you, bro. About right under a year, about maybe 10 or 11 months for me to construct this room for him at the building in Burbank.
Which is nice. I've been over there.
Thank you.
Yeah, we constructed his room. He customized it, got it his color he wanted. He picked the colors. We designed the room, got it done. And then now we're already over a year in, about a year and a half in, maybe a year in.
It's our anniversary, right?
Yeah, we just had Ilani over there, my business partner, Ilani K, over there at 4000 West Burbank. She became a part of the company, opened the facility she had, and that's where we run everything out of.
Shit, we 1 year old next week.
Congratulations. It's a lot, bro. How many episodes have you guys done in that year?
Shit, 20? No, shit, we about 30, maybe about 30.
Nice.
That's dope.
We work horses, bro. We go.
Trust me, I get it.
Yeah, we go.
That's dope.
So do y'all have anything else that y'all doing together?
We got music together.
Yeah, we got some music together. We're gonna drop on his project.
Music. We're syncing. We're trying to sync stuff. We're trying to get more interviews for EDI. We're looking for sponsors. Anyone want to sponsor the Outlawz show? Hit us up.
And we got to get you on the show, man.
Because
I need to know.
We were talking about it.
I've been trying to get on.
Yeah, he wants to get on.
We got to make that happen.
I thought maybe, I just didn't have enough clout.
Oh, come on, man. No, man. We've been talking about it. I told him that we had your schedule on hold for a minute.
because I know this legendary shit right here. I was
absolutely. No, come on, man.
Let me build up.
As soon as
I need to find out.
Let me do this shit for another 10 years, and then maybe I can get on.
Come on, man.
We're going to get caught in the man cave and get it. He's going to break it down for us how he stayed with one woman for 30 years.
Yeah. Oh, see?
No, you know what? So this is what I'm going to do. I have a book coming that I'm working on now called Chronicles of a No Limit Soldier. So when you ask me,
you're going to say,
I'm going to whistle.
For the book.
Yeah, so Chronicles of a No Limit
Soldier. It's all good.
I'm going to ask you.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Every time you can say that during the interview, too.
I'm just fucking with you.
Hey, man, this man was on Down South Hustlers. I mean, he go way back, 90s. You know what I mean? The court dog.
Yeah, that's who I was back in the day.
Era.
You know what I mean? But listen, I'm giving you a hard time, but really, man, your career has been so illustrious, and I mean, man, you are cemented in history with one of the biggest. I mean, just you even have your own identity. But I understand that. It's so funny because when I went into this, I consider these conversations not just interviews.
Facts.
But I know that lane of when you're attached to something so big, you know what I mean? And like when I do interviews and shit, it's always my experience with P. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
then
for sure.
you got to find your spot in that. So I was like, okay, I want to get the Pac shit because that's what people want to see. Yeah. But I was also very cognizant to talk about you. You know what I mean? And your journey.
You did your research too, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. You know, because
that's real journalism.
I mean, that's hard to do, bro. He literally, not too many people could say that, bro, but he got stamped by a legend, bro. He got stamped by a prophet, bro. He walked with a prophet, bro. And like, not a lot of people could say that shit, bro. It's like being walking with Bob Marley or something.
Right. Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's big. I mean, you know, like the world. You got to think about that. The world knows who you are.
Yeah.
You know what
but
I mean?
like you said, we got something in common, man. Because P was a game changer as well.
Right.
Man.
Oh, definitely.
He definitely did a lot to, you know, step everybody's game up in the early 2000s, man.
For sure.
What I mean? And, you know, Cats, he had that work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like the game got a little lazy and P made everybody.
Were you ever around P? Were you ever around P in them early Bay days?
Nah, man.
Because he talks a little bit about being around Pac at one point.
Yeah.
He said he opened up for him. He used to open up for him. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
In the Bay in the early days.
Yeah. I wasn't there for those shows. You know what I mean? Like I said, we got there summer '92. I think some of that stuff happened before then, or maybe even you know, time when we wasn't around.
Yeah. So you never ran into P in your travels?
Guess where I ran into P at?
Where?
I ran into P at the Bank of America on Topanga Canyon one day.
Pulling out some money.
You know what I mean? We was both getting some money or putting some money in or something. We was doing something with money. Yeah. And I seen him and I said, hey, what's up, P? And he just looked at me. He was like, hey, what's going on with you, Whoa? And handed his business. You know what I mean? I handled my business and we went our separate ways. Man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't even know if P knew who I was. Right, he might have thought I was just, you know.
We're going to have core connect the dots, man. We got to get you two together, man. I'm sure there's a conversation there somewhere.
Yeah, but I know that walk, though. A lot of people don't understand what that is for us, you know, being next to such big, pivotal figures. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, especially, like I remember me and P was down at Anaheim a few weeks ago, and this lady asked me, she was like, do you ever get tired of people asking him to take pictures? And, you know, I said, hell no. I said, they supposed to.
Right.
Like, yeah.
He's relevant,
you know,
so,
that's my guy. Like, you're supposed to respect what he done, you know.
100%.
And I always think about, like, back to the James Brown thing, his movie, Get On Up.
Yeah, I seen that one.
When dude told him, he said, no matter what you say, we still walk with our heads up higher because we walk with him. You know what I'm saying? We still are, you know what I mean? 100%. Like, he's the leader, but we still that. And we still that much bigger because we with him. So I understand that lane, you know what I mean? So man, so what we got coming right now? We got the series. We know that.
The series.
The series.
Outlaw show.
Now, real quick, is it picked up already?
It is not picked up yet, but it's being written.
Oh,
It's being
okay,
written right
okay.
now. We have producers attached to it.
Okay. And you're going to be going to probably HBO, some big platforms or something
Absolutely.
like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And it'll be like 6 parts, like how
the Wu-Tang
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 to 10 episodes.
Nice. When do you, and I know it's hard to say, but the fans gonna want to know, when do you suspect that we could probably see it? You know what I'm saying? Maybe a year, next year, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. New albums y'all want to plug? Any new content?
New music, No Limit Latin. Shout out Cora. Shout out Big Cora. Shout out Donald XL P. Robinson.
Yeah, shout out
EDI, his art with T.O. Everywhere. What you working on? Everything, right? You got new music. You got a single with T.O. right now.
Yeah, we put the Outlawz One Nation album out late last year.
Exhibit single. Yeah.
First single was with Exhibit. Second single was with Conway. The Machine, Lessons of Legends. That's out there for everybody. That album is doing really well for us at this point. And then I'm going to drop this project with Young T.O. from SOBRBE, the group Vallejo, California.
707.
We got a whole project together, all slaps, no skips. First single was called Don't Stop. Be shooting the video next week. 4,000 West Burbank. Pull up if you want to get a cameo.
Skirt.
Yeah. I'm invited.
Absolutely.
Okay, appreciate that.
I'm talking to y'all.
Well, producer Ken can come and maybe we can get an outlaw interview for a quarter.
All
or so,
good.
You know what I'm saying?
All good.
Because you got enough clout now, man.
Oh, okay. I'm in there now. I'm in there now. Okay.
You're in.
Congratulations.
I fucking get to writing a book or something real quick about my.
I was just about to say book. You ain't got a book coming, bro?
You know what? I started on a book.
Okay.
I started on a book. I started on a book about my experience in hip hop and my journey, and then I also wrote a fiction book that I'm gonna drop later this year.
Nice.
Okay.
Called Street Fame.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, damn. You said fiction, so
Fiction.
Yeah. So what is it? Just some.
Well, it's fiction based on reality.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Nice. All right, man. Well,
And the Outlaw show, man, and the after party show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're gonna
Stay
keep
tuned.
going up. Man.
Course the next interview.
Broadcasting.
Yeah.
Frenzy. The next interview.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I did his.
Yeah,
and
you
your
did.
shit was off the chain.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Who's the
My
beautiful
shit is a
young
little
lady?
bit
on
more
there?
laid back,
Jimena.
Court, so I want to prepare you. You know
No,
what I mean?
I get it.
I'm
My
more-
shit's more cerebral too, so I understand.
I'm more
that.
Howard Stern energy. He's just
Yeah.
OG in the man cave,
Yeah.
smoking a J, just
Yeah. Now I
talking
can
sports,
appreciate that.
sports,
Real talk,
war,
women,
trading.
sports.
He has a segment called Trading
relationships.
War
Yeah.
Stories.
Yeah.
It's one of his segments.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not well versed in sports. I
Uh-oh.
don't keep up with sports.
Okay. Thought about
Yeah,
that.
I don't
do.
keep up with sports.
Hey, that's why you're gonna be there. You'll be
So
like,
he got to come with me.
Niners.
Yeah, and I'm diehard about my teams too.
Niners.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm the
recently
Chiefs.
became a Rams fan, so
Oh.
I was getting on y'all nerves late
Well,
last
that's
year.
the end of the podcast.
He's like, apparently our cameras have stopped working.
Yeah. You and every other person in LA recently became
I was
a
at that
Rams.
championship game too, man.
Oh,
when we
man.
sent y'all home, man. That was a
man.
great day, man.
Look, he's gonna turn your mic down. Look,
I know he didn't muted this nigga. Nah, I'm Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying?
course.
And I say Rams because LA home. I've
Patrick,
been here.
my
I've been
homie,
here.
bro.
Yeah, I've been
Come
here
on, man.
20
How
years.
You gonna live here and not love the Rams?
No,
I
I'm
have-
saying Rams too, and a
I can
Laker,
understand.
and I'm a Laker
you
too.
have to
Me
hate
too.
him. It's
Yeah.
just it's
Well,
law.
no. So here's the politics, and it's the Cliff Notes. I'm born and raised in Sac, North Highlands, and I'm born in '81. But in the '80s, the Raiders are an LA team. They're not a NorCal team. So anyone my age that's not a Niners fan, from the Montana, Rice, Steve Young era, it's like, get the fuck out of here, bro. We had a dynasty and no other team was up here, so you got to be part of that squad. And
I get it.
all 5 Super Bowls have been since I've been born.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, we had a dynasty. That was that era.
That
And I'm a Kings fan, sadly, and we get fucking we never do good.
And we had the Kings before y'all.
I know.
Yeah,
We got
had the
that,
Kings.
you know,
Yep.
the Bay and KC and NorCal.
Oh,
and
yeah,
KC. We got that
already.
connect.
Connected.
Yeah,
in a lot of
connected.
ways.
Yes, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I used to fuck with the Chiefs because all of the Niners used to go to the Chiefs when they retired.
That's true.
Joe Montana,
That's
Chiefs.
true.
Ronnie Lott,
Yeah.
Chief. You know what I mean? Like I would watch the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
A lot of
watch
them
all
did
my-
go to the
Like,
Chiefs.
Yeah,
Like,
Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah.
Chiefs Kingdom.
They
bro.
graduated.
Now retired.
Yeah, there it is.
You just watch Montana like throw the ball around for the end of his career.
So you think the league done figured Mahomes out?
I think they already did.
I don't know, man.
That's what I
We
mean.
gonna
I
be
think they
back,
done
bro.
figured him
Mahomes
out.
not as-
Nah,
I
we gonna
think
be
He
back.
got to add some more arsenal to
Yeah,
his,
nah.
to
I
his,
think we just had to beefing up the defense.
Man,
you know
Hill's
what
a
I'm saying?
beast,
They
bro.
got rid of Tyreek
Like,
Hill.
that's
though.
what I'm
He's in
saying.
Miami
He
now.
can't do
Oh,
what he do.
that
He's
was that
running
was
from
his weapon.
everybody.
He's a Dolphin now.
That was
what
his
the
biggest
fuck
weapon,
was
bro.
they thinking?
What the fuck would they think?
That was his biggest
fastest
weapon.
man in the league.
He's the fastest guy in the whole
So
league.
you got one of the
They
best
just let him walk,
quarterbacks.
and they
now
didn't
you-
get nothing for him.
no nothing.
They need a salary
hard.
cap, bro.
It was a horrible.
didn't
move.
understand
Also,
that
though,
one.
the Niners, though, and I'm a fan, we fucking up too because now Debo wants to leave
He said
with
we
Jimmy.
fucking up too.
They'd be like, we're trying to get rid of Jimmy, and Debo said, "Go ahead and let me go too."
Right.
And I was like, "What the fuck? Like,
Get up out of here.
we need
You
to
guys
get rid of."
got to bring Kaepernick back, bro.
The Raiders just talked about signing him.
Yeah.
Really?
As a
How old
backup.
is Cap now?
Cap's like 34.
You know, Cap got
34.
blackballed though.
Yeah.
He missed the end of his 20s into
Yeah.
the 30s.
He got
Y'all think he's too
blackballed.
old now?
He
Nah.
said he stayed in shape. He said he'd been working out.
He's
The game, man, and football is, you know,
Look at Tom Brady,
speed.
bro. If you stay healthy,
It's different.
but Tom Brady was
That's
protected.
kind of
though.
different. He's been
He had the
playing.
He's been playing. He's been
It's
active.
hard.
He's
I'm
been
good
playing.
friends with T.O. And
Okay.
he kind of got blackballed too at the end of his career, and he wanted to come back for years because I worked in reality TV and I did his show, and he would always be like, "Man, I'm just trying to get one more season in."
Bro, I used
You
to
know
love
what I mean?
Terrell, bro. I'm an Eagles fan. I can't forgive him for what he did, bro. He did his dirty, bro.
He did what? Played on a broken leg for y'all in the
Yeah,
Super
bro. I
Bowl?
don't know, man. We lost, bro. And then, yeah, bro.
God
Talk
damn,
shit
what you
about
want him to
Donovan
do?
McNabb.
Yeah, that's probably what hurt my feelings. I'm a McNabb fan, bro. I
Yeah,
had
but
to side with
McNabb was a
on
snake
that one,
though.
dog.
McNabb was a snake. We say it
Oh
out loud.
man, McNabb was my favorite player, bro.
T.O. I ain't gonna speak on this business. I know. I'm about to get defensive over my dog.
Give me some game, bro. Let me-
I'm a T.O. fan too, so I feel you. I mean, I think he was
Hey,
one of the
T.O.
best
you
wide
know
receivers.
what's funny, man, is
And naturally talented wide receiver, one of
no,
the
he's
best
definitely-
ever.
I'm gonna give my boy a plug. What's funny about T.O. is that in the era where he got all the shit and got blackballed and people was like, because of the driveway workout and everything, they basically blackballed him for the league, kicked him out. That man didn't beat no woman, never raped no one, never dog fought.
There was no scandals or nothing.
And I'm not talking shit about all these other players, but like his mouth, that's what. But nah, T.O. was the man. T.O. did it.
I appreciate you guys for coming to the show, brother.
Nah, man, it was a pleasure. Great
man, yeah, absolutely, brother. I appreciate you, quarterbacking it, man. So
it's all good.
Y'all be seeing me on this man's podcast next. You know what I'm saying?
Official. We cannot go back on it now, bro. It's here on video footage. We can't lie about it.
I got the clout now. So.
Yeah, you got the clout.
Yeah.
Man, you got 30 years.
And you know what? That's I'm going to come to your show, and I'm going to give you the secret sauce.
He's going to ask you about it.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the secret sauce.
My book's coming soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to come and sit in the background just be like, what do I do next time?
Nah, you're going to come hang out and bring some sports trivia. You know what? We'll do some sports trivia with Edie and producer Ken.
For sure.
You down on the Outlawz show?
Talk some sports.
You down for that?
Yeah.
Talk some sports?
Man. Absolutely.
Talk shit about the 49ers? You down?
I got the relationship shit.
I love to talk shit about the 49ers.
I'll let y'all do the sports.
Maybe I'll miss that one.
He said, I don't think I want to go over.
Met him when I was 15. Met him today. That's good. That's good for me.
He's an asshole.
Same here. Nothing changed.
Hey, I appreciate
Thanks
y'all,
for having
man.
us, man.
Hey,
Holdin Court. Much love to you guys.
Thanks
for having us.
Good time.
All right, signing off.
We out.
I'm holding court, standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down? Karma's on the way. What goes around comes around. Karma's on the way. There's nothing you could do now. You gotta pay.